This broadcast, telecast, podcast, and whatever the hell else it is copyrighted by the Rad Network and the Rob and Steve Sports Show, all found at theradnetwork.com, and is for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, accounts, or descriptions of this madness without the express permission of the Rad Network and Williams Broadcasting and Rob's Really Mean Lawyers is prohibited. So just don't do it.
It's the Rob and Steve Sports Show.
The ball is still loose as they get it to Rogers. They give it back down to the 30. They're down to the 20. Oh, the band is out on the field. We don't know who won the game. Everybody's milling around on the field. The Bears have won. The Bears have won. Oh, my God. California has won the big game over Stanford.
Welcome to 2 hours of sports and nothing but sports.
The past 2 weeks, you've been reading about a bad rag. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Email the show, ras@theradnetwork.com.
For tonight's ceremonial first pitch. And please welcome the President of the United States.
And now, the Rad Network presents the Rob and Steve Sports Show.
We will begin with this email. You can write us anytime, whether you're watching or listening live or after the fact. We're always at theradnetwork.com. Everything's free. If you watch us, and you watch us on YouTube, subscribe. It still doesn't cost you money. Someday it might make us some. I don't know. You can email us, ras@theradnetwork.com. We begin with this email from Greg. The subject line, I got all defensive right away. It says, "Shut up, Steve." And I went, "You cannot tell Steve to shut up. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's from Greg. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Towards the end of the show, we were talking about what else can the NFL possibly do to us financially, the streaming services and everything else. And I think, Steve, it was you like, what is there anywhere? And we were talking about, well, they're already partnered with Amazon for Thursday Night Football and playoff football, because I was like, well, you got to put a behemoth with a behemoth. Who else could they? And we started kind of facetiously saying, is there anything else? And Greg says, Steve, don't tempt the NFL. You said the NFL has no one else to partner with or make money. Hey, just wait until they start charging us per play. And if you want to see replays, that's extra. That's I wouldn't put anything past them.
I've been thinking for a long time that they were going to go to a pay-per-view per game, and
a la carte kind of thing.
Correct. And I should shut up because I don't want to give any more ideas out there. So I'm with you, Greg. I'll be quiet on this.
Now, I have some in-show, Steve, homework for you. It's just a thinking thing. Just a thinking thing. I didn't want to throw it at you without any ability to think. So I'll give you a little bit of time to think. We'll do it later in the show. Mid-season grades for Major League Baseball are out for the 30 teams. 2 teams got an A+. 2 teams got an F. 2 other teams got an A. Everyone else, B to D. 2 A+, 2 A's, 2 F's. That's it. Just think about it, who you think they are or should be, and why aren't other teams in the mix. We'll do it in a bit. We'll start with what's happening right now. Scotty Scheffler, the reigning champion golfer of the year, is the favorite to win the 2026 Open Championship in England. They're at Royal Birkdale. These are his longest odds to win a major since the 2023 Open, between missing a cut for the first time in nearly 4 years at last week's Scottish Open and facing a bunch of competition from players across Europe. The 4-time major winner, not as favorite as usual. Rory McIlroy, second best odds. Matt Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, John Rahm round out the top 5. I don't know. I watch golf all the time. I'm bad at the predicting because so many of these tournaments, somebody you've never heard of wins always after the first day. As of right now, through both rounds, we have one leader. That is Jackson Suber, who's an American. Okay. He is 5 under, and he hasn't even played yet today. I'm sorry. He's only through round one, right? Right. And then Daniel Brown, Sun J M, and Pearson Cody. Those are all your leaders at 5 and 4 under in the British Open. Names that matter: Scheffler's at 2 under, Rahm and Fleetwood are at 1 under. I not important why. I woke up in the middle of the night, like 1 a.m. Couldn't sleep. I get up between 3 and 4. I've done this enough to know, okay, if I just lie here, I'm not going to get back to sleep because my mind was racing. And I work it out within a couple minutes. Okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to have a snack. I'm going to do a little show prep and go back to bed. And I sit down to do the show prep and the snack, and I turn on the TV. There's the British Open at 1:30 in the morning. It was boring as hell. I didn't know anybody, but I had golf on. So here we are, Steve. British Open, last major golf tournament of the year. It's really, to me, been a lackluster golf year. It's not because Tiger or anything else. It's just meh. I'm trying. I am trying. I'm starting to. I'm watching less golf. I will admit. I think I do need the star power, and I'm not intrigued by most of it. I'll tune in now when somebody's making a run that matters on Saturday or Sunday.
And for the majors, I will turn it on. Man, I wish I would have thought about it because I was up. I was up early yesterday morning at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I went and started doing some work that I do, and never even occurred to me turn on golf. There might be on. In fact, I'll tell you how far out of it I was. I was looking at scores today, going, did rain postpone something because golfers are still in the middle of their round? And so I know we talked about it yesterday, the Open, but that's how far from golf I am right now.
And I feel like that a lot of people are. It's in a lull. I don't think golf's dead or anything like that, but it's in a lull right now. And I think it's also being outclassed right now, in particular, by not only a great baseball season, everything going on in sports, all the NBA talk, World Cup, things like that. But we'll keep an eye on it. To the email that started the show that wants Steve to shut up about giving the NFL ideas to make money, fine. But we have NFL news and update. This weird John Gruden story. He says one day, I want to come back to broadcasting, but I want to be the play-by-play guy. The next day, we're told he's going to be a play-by-play guy on a preseason NFL game. We don't know what, when, where, why, or how, but he's going to get a chance. And he'll be back in the broadcast booth. Now, this is the other thing with the play-by-play. The play-by-play guy is really supposed to keep it tamped down. You don't do a lot of injecting. I don't know if Gruden's even capable of that, having been in the game his entire lifetime. You're not supposed to have two people who are constantly commenting or adding. I don't know. We're breaking all the rules. Maybe people will love it. Gruden's immediate aspiration is to call games as the play-by-play announcer. He did make it clear yesterday, though. He wants to coach again, too. Nobody did the follow-up question of how you going to do that in a league you keep suing and pissing off, but we'll get to that. The bigger thing is, let's break down what he said, Steve. Do you agree with this? John Gruden says about the state of quarterback play in the NFL, a lot of people think the game is evolving. I think the game is dissolving, end quote. Gruden blames it on communication or a lack thereof. He says that I always use these 3 letters, RCE, recognize, communicate, execute. Those are the R's, the C's, and the E's. You've got to recognize the defense, the coverage, then you communicate. Change the play, stay with the play. You've got to be a great communicator. Recognize defenses, communicate what you want to do, and then you've got a chance to execute. And quote, as Gruden sees it, the problem isn't at the professional level, it's at college. Quote, a lot of these guys are on 4 or 5 different colleges. I mean, they transfer from one to another. There's no continuity. And repetition is the mother of learning. You had to get into the same stance, the same drills, the same defense for a period of years. That's how you master the technique, says John Gruden. As Gruden sees it, the NFL has a problem moving forward, blames college. Is this an old man on the porch just bitching, or does he have a point?
I'm giving it a little bit more towards the old man on the porch, and I do believe he has a little bit of it. Look at the talented quarterbacks coming out. I mean, look at all the young quarterbacks. We got Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. You got Caleb Williams. You got Jaden Daniels. I mean, we watched some great CJ Stroud. Brock Purdy showed up, and in the olden days, he probably wouldn't have known how to play football to that level. I think it is that way. And he talks about the repetition. Well, these guys with the NIL deals are going to be much more likely. Look how many starts they get and how many games they play. It's no longer a one and done or anything like that, like we got with college basketball. But it used to be the 4 years, you got your one redshirt year, then COVID hit, and now you can play forever. I mean, we're watching Sorsby try to keep and stay in the league. You see what Carson Beck, I swear, played like 8 years at college football. How much more repetition can you get? And I think that's a good part. Plus, the quarterback position has evolved. It's become much more athletic than it used to be. We don't have the true quarterbacks that come out. You get them once in a while, but you have like the Andrew Lucks, etc. When they came out or quarterback ready, it's much more of that. You got to be able to run the dual threat quarterback, which changes things. Where I do agree with him is I do think, one, they can transfer anywhere. So now you're not coming up through a set program. It's like we talk about how many offensive coordinators, is a young quarterback going to have in the NFL? Well, now you're going to look. I played a season in Arkansas. I transferred to Iowa. From Iowa, I transferred to Georgia. From Georgia, I transferred to Miami of Florida. That's all different programs. You can say it gives him a lot of experience because he's played in different systems. But I do believe for that development, you need that consistency. We don't see that because the players now are jumping around for the money and the experience, not so much as learning one system. So I think it's a little bit of both, but I would say he's more an old man on the porch.
It leaned that way for me as well, particularly as you said, because he went after, of all things, the quarterback position. And then what I gleaned from it too was he's acting like a color commentator who used to be a coach. What he's really bitching about is coaching. Those are the ones. That's why he said, I used to use RCE, recognize, communicate, execute. Where's the coach in that who's telling the players, this is what I see, what do you see, et cetera? That's what he should be doing. I don't know what about this random riff on college. You nailed it. It's like, grow up. That's where they're going to be headed anyways. It's not esque to me. I don't know.
I agree with you. If he substituted coaching with quarterback in that statement, I would be saying he's 100% right. We are right now. The NIL, they're jumping from team to team. They're not playing consistent. They're under a whole bunch of everything I said would fit if he had said coaching and not quarterback.
Also from the NFL, we knew this was coming. The Cowboys had announced already they aren't going to sign George Pickens. Became official yesterday. The deadline passes for the sides to complete a long-term deal. Now Pickens will play for 1 year, fully guaranteed, $27.5 million. That's the franchise tag. Hopefully he can get by on his $27.5 million. He will be, I didn't know this, he's the only player in the NFL to play on the franchise tag this year. Really? Pitts and Breece Hall for the Jets, Pitts for Falcon. They were tagged, but they both signed. Colts quarterback Daniel Jones received the transition tag, signed. That's one player? Seems like we've come a long way, unless I've been paying attention.
No, we have come a long ways. There used to be a lot more players out there doing this.
So the way this works is now the Cowboys can't extend Pickens' contract until the end of the season. He's scheduled to be a free agent again in March when the official new season starts. Where are we on Pickens, Steve? Is he vital? This is the number one offense in the league. Are they just running out what they think are his good years and let him go? The Cowboys are always hard to figure out. What's your read?
Yeah, but there's something with Pickens. I mean, I think it's what I would say his maturity level. He doesn't fit there. I think if he was a solid teammate, great in the clubhouse, didn't cause distractions like he did. I mean, he takes plays off. He tends to go into pout mode and he doesn't really want to run his routes. He's making $27 million this year. Focus, concentrate, play. And to give for some comparison, you look at Amon-Ra St. Brown, he got his contract early. The dude up in Digma in Seattle, he
Oh,
got money paid because they don't cause issues. They don't stir the pot. They don't get run out of town out of Pittsburgh for being an on the field, off the field distraction in the locker room, etc. They got their money. He just hasn't matured. And at some point he'll figure it out, hopefully, and he'll mature. Otherwise, he's going to be like, some of the other wide receivers, Terrell Owens over the years that, yeah, great receiver, but how long can you deal with this? Stephon Diggs comes to mind. There's a reason Stephon Diggs keeps bouncing from team to team. In the first year he's there, oh, we love him. By the third year he's there, he's like that mother-in-law who's been visiting you for 7 days. It's time to get this one out of the house. I love her, but I can't deal with it anymore.
and we're hearing, that's AJ Brown now. The only difference this year would be AJ Brown was traded by the Eagles. If this goes down the path, the Cowboys, they get nothing for Pickens if they play this out this way. Where do you think Pickens going to wind up with Dallas when it's all done?
I think he ultimately will. Jerry Jones finds ways to pay these players, and he falls in the turmoil, off-field distractions don't seem to bother him a whole lot. But the thing I would want other players to look, he's not happy. He's playing on a franchise tag, getting paid $27 million. At the end of the year, he is an unrestricted free agent to go anywhere he wants. This is a great system. You see these players bitch about it all the time, but yet, look, you got to be paid in what, the top 5 or 10% when you get franchised at that position. You get your money, and then they can't. In the olden days, if you remember, they could franchise tag you for like 2 years. I think it even started, you could do it every year. But I think then they cut it to 2, and now it's down to 1. The players that are unhappy with their contracts play under a franchise tag. You're free to go anywhere you want after that, and you can choose your designation.
A couple more updates as well. This time from Major League Baseball, we talked about the first place Milwaukee Brewers, who have padded their starting rotation by trading for Houston Astros oft injured right-hander Lance McCullers Jr. and lefty Colton Gordon. It was all official last night, and we kept asking a couple things, including who's getting what here? Because for all day yesterday, we don't know. Milwaukee leads the National League Central by 5 games over the Cubs. The Brewers have a 3.48 team ERA. That's second in the majors behind only the Yankees. Injuries to their starting rotation has left them seeking depth. Houston, on the other side of the trade, third in the AL West, 3 games behind the Rangers. Astros general manager Dana Brown said they created flexibility in payroll in the roster by trading McCullers, who is 2-3, with a 6.51 ERA, 48 strikeouts in 55 innings. He's in minor league on a rehab stint. In return, the Astros will get, this was what we didn't have yesterday. Here's what the Astros are getting. Minor league outfielder and DH Jaden Fielder, as in the son of former Brewer star Prince Fielder and grandson of Cecil Fielder. Yeah, but is he any good? I don't care about his last name. The Brewers will pick up $2.5 million of McCullers' $6+ million salary, as the Astros' longest tenured pitcher was in the final year of his 5-year, $85 million contract. We talked about as much as we could yesterday, Steve, without knowing what exactly the players were and who was involved. This is the beginning of the rush towards the trade deadline on August 3rd. How noteworthy, now that you know the totality of the trade, is this?
I was waiting for it because I believe that Houston included another pitcher in the deal in order to get Fielder's kid. I believe it ended up being a 2-for-1, which might have been the hang up, is they take 2 and a couple of ways. One, and I think he's a relief pitcher. What are the Astros doing trading pitching? I mean, that'd be like the A's, trading away their pitching that shows some promise left to something else. And so didn't make sense. The Astros are trading, but I understand it. And can't tell you anything about Fielder. and what he's done. I do know in the article I read, he's a DH outfielder, which means he's a young prospect who, like Prince, is already, is he going to be able to play in the field? They mentioned that he probably can play some first base. He's got the pedigree. I mean, Cecil Fielder was unbelievable. Prince Fielder was too. I mean, they showed highlights of Prince Fielder when Cecil was playing and how he's hitting home runs in major league ballparks at something like age 12, 13, 14, something like that, because he would take batting practice with them. I don't know where his son is, but being that Prince played the majority of his career with Milwaukee, and he was on Milwaukee, and Milwaukee's moving on from that pedigree, I'm not convinced he's really that much of a prospect, and we'll see what happens.
Major League Baseball All-Star break over. We got one game tonight. We'll talk about it later. So we got John Gruden, who says quarterback play in the NFL is deteriorating. And you got Justin Verlander, who has announced he's retiring at the end of the year. He was at the All-Star game, didn't play, but he was asked about a variety of things about the future of the game. He's pitched for 22 years. He's won 3 Cy Youngs, 2 World Series, an MVP. He's been to 10 All-Star teams. He's going to Cooperstown. And at first, during his media jaunt on Monday, he was literally in disbelief that someone asked him, quote, "Hey, Justin, have you ever been pulled out of a perfect game or no-hitter in your career?" End quote. Justin responded by saying, "Are you kidding? No. It was never a conversation." And then he yelled, "No! How could someone ask that?" And quote, "There was not one single pitcher, whoever had a perfect game through 6 innings or more, who was ever pulled from a game from 1901 to 2015. In the last 10 years, it's happened 3 times. Verlander can't comprehend it, and it was part of his bigger diatribe, kind of like Gruden. He's worried about the game for the same reason a lot of people are, the pending lockout. Particularly the potential of a lengthy lockout on the horizon, threatening the integrity of next year. Verlander says, quote, "I'm really worried about it. The game is," here it comes, "in my opinion, in a really great place. Viewership is great. Fan bases are responding. I would hate to see that get disrupted and lose momentum that we have. Blah, blah, blah. They're simply," he says, "if the system ain't broke, don't fix it." Same answer we keep hearing from everybody. We went over a bunch of them yesterday, Steve. Verlander, he's done with the game anyways, but they're all clinging to this. It's too good. The game's in too good of a shape. We'll figure it out without getting any closer to figuring out. We've got months, but this is, for now, the marching order. It'll work out. Everything will be fine.
And the part I cling to is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think it is broke. I think most everybody will admit that it is broke outside of the players union, the player reps, and the star players. I would even go as far as to say I think the low end players in Major League Baseball probably right now say the system's broke. So you got to fix it. You don't wait until the whole thing blows up, although I think they've already waited too long. They should have figured out how to reach that agreement, as you said, Rob, many months ago, of this is the core issue. It is the salary cap. We have to find a way. And they should have been talking about this for the last 2 years. Nothing else, because everything else will fall in place once you can reach that agreement. But as you said, nothing else matters until that agreement is reached. And I don't think they can move forward without that agreement.
And they also need to, and I like, clinging. I do like the seeming transparency of this back and forth proposal thing and them releasing it. And we see the problem is nobody's moving like it all. Again, it's early, but it ain't. This stuff flies. December 1st, to most of us, if you just say it out loud, you're like, oh my God, that's light years away. Summer just started. It's baseball. We're not even playing football. December 1st. It'll be here before we know it. And it will be at the table of the owners and the players union long before we know it, because for them, they're right there in it. And then December 1st, they're going to lock the players out. Mm-hmm. We all really know the real deadline is February-ish, when it's got to be like, are we pushing games back? Are we reporting that you got a whole 4 weeks realistically you lose entirely because of the holidays. They've got to get more serious to give me more confidence. I basically am, I don't know, I haven't thought about it. 90, 80% in your camp from years ago, we ain't getting 2027 baseball. I've moved a little bit though. Yeah, maybe 20% hope. I got to see more. They're not moving. No one has given anything yet, and we'll see. But that's what we need to see, I think, to feel like, yeah, we'll get some baseball. I'd be shocked if we got a whole season. That's for sure.
And I haven't moved. I've been saying for the last 2 years, I'm 99% at that. We will not have a season. I've been raising this flag, for a couple of years now, and nothing that I've heard. It's great they're communicating, but they're going to wait, and then they're going to lock them out. Then they're going to have discussions for the first couple of weeks, a meeting here, a meeting there, and then they're going to go, well, yeah, okay, we need the holidays, we need to get away, we need to step away, we still got time. I don't think they have enough time. I don't, even if they have a season, I really think it's going to be a half a season. I can't
Ugh.
see how this gets solved prior to July.
If they don't put guys in spring training, if they're not playing baseball in April, the pressure will mount, and that will be their last chance, because the pressure will mount and then very quickly it will wane and people will just go elsewhere, presumably. On that happy note, we'll take a break and be right
Rob
back.
and Steve continue next, only on the radnetwork.com.
Longtime advertiser Sue Berry, that's Berry with an A, is more important now than ever. Sue and her team have been serving Northern Nevada and the outlying areas for 30 years, and her experience in both commercial and residential lending is vital, as every day we're bombarded Longtime maggots will remember Greg from MAP, M-A-P, as in Maximum Athletic Performance, which guides you to better output through better ingredients, also known as nutrition. Greg has been on the Rad Show many times and will be again, as he simplifies nutrition and helps us all understand what actually works when it comes to fueling our bodies, almost all of which can be found at maptrition.com. Every product is formulated with clinical precision and backed by science and purpose, and maptrition.com has something for every fitness level, even those of us who barely have a fitness level. With nearly 20 years as a nutritionist and a specialization in sports nutrition, Greg works with athletes and everyday individuals to optimize performance, energy, and overall health through smarter fueling strategies, all of which starts at maptrition.com. At the very least, we should all be taking daily multivitamins, and Greg has his formulated for exactly what a man or woman's body needs. Protein is in, but maybe instead of getting yours from mac and cheese with extra protein, you get it from maptrition.com. And of course, all things workout, training, and exercise are available as well. From pre-workout to creatine and other muscle builders to recovery supplements and more, all at maptrition.com. mapnutrition.com. From morning breakfast essentials to post-workout recovery and everything in between, mapnutrition.com's full range of supplements, proteins, and wellness products are built to power your journey from start to finish. Check out all the products and find what's right for you and order it shipped to you all at mapnutrition.com. That's mapnutrition.com.
For them, every day is a must-win. Huh? What does that even mean? Back to Rob and Steve. Email the show at res@theradnetwork.com.
Major League Baseball back at it after the All-Star break. One game tonight, full slate this weekend. We'll go over those in a bit. We were talking about Justin Verlander. He was an All-Star. He's retiring at the end of the year. He was asked about various things, and including the future of the game. He went on a diatribe about, is there going to be a lockout next year? Will we have baseball? And getting that resolved. He won't be a part of it, but he's not. He used the line, baseball's in too good of a shape to let this happen. So we once again broke down, yeah, but what are we going to do to fix it? And Steve, you're sticking by no baseball, and if we do get it, half a season, I think. And I can't argue with that. I'm holding on a little hope for something. I don't like half a season, but it's better than nothing, sort of thing. But you think there's an opening with all of this story with the NBA?
Well, we've talked about this in the past. In my world, we would move the NBA. I think they should opening day should be Christmas Day and do it exactly how they do it with, the 5-7 games or whatever it is, and then kick the season off from there. Why are they sitting there competing with the NFL and college football and even the college basketball at that time, November, December? Own it. Take the summer. Right now, the reason baseball, I think part of their success is because of the only sport going on. We have nothing else out there. So don't stop the season in June. Let's roll it to August. You can have September, October, November type off from what they have it. We've seen this coming down the pike. And I just think that they should shift their schedule a little bit. We also have seen that the NHL is changing their schedule as much too. They are going to 84 games as opposed to 82 games. But they moved the opening day up earlier. I think they should have moved it back, because if you can get hockey playing into July and even say the beginning of August type of thing, I think it's better for those sports. I think it's better for viewership. Fans will like it more because they have more of a choice than just the baseball season, and they're not competing as much with the NFL and college football season. So go take July and August too.
Speaking of the NBA and July and August, and it's July, and of course nothing matters more than LeBron. We have a couple of quick little updates. No, he didn't sign anywhere. NBA superstar Kevin Durant doesn't know where LeBron's going to play, but he knows he ain't playing with him. He was asked about James's future in the league, and Durant predicted that LeBron will either go home to the Cavs or go to the Sixers. First of all, points for answering the question. I hate when these athletes get asked something like that, and I know they have every right to do whatever they want, but I hate it when, if this was a scenario and Durant goes, I don't know, none of my business, I don't know, I'll find out when you do. Just answer. And he did. Whether he's right or not, I appreciate that. I'm no Kevin Durant fan, but that's cool. Then he was asked, if he and LeBron will ever play together, and Kevin Durant laughed out loud and said, well, you'll have to wait for the rest of your life forever, end quote. No context, but he ain't playing with LeBron. There's when anything where you mention LeBron becomes news. They don't have bad blood, do they? Or do they? I don't know. Is there any point to that?
I don't know, but I love his answer. I know he ain't playing with me. And then they pushed off of that, and that, well, you're going to have to wait the rest of your lifetime because it just isn't going to happen. And who knows? It might just be, Durant looks at it as, look, I need to run the team. This is what I do. I've earned this in the NBA. And LeBron says the same thing. And Durant's a realist there and just saying, yeah, I just can't see the two of us coexisting. They could be best friends, but I just don't see us playing on the same team.
Speaking of LeBron and the NBA and such, it's gone viral. I think it's a gag, not that he was in on it, but it's fun the way he handled it. Golden State Warriors coach Steve Kerr was caught on video. He's driving down the road, and this is the function of being recognizable, right? And especially you're in the Bay Area. Fans pull up and they start yelling at him. And some Warrior fans tell him, we need a LeBron. They're yelling, we need a LeBron. And they're nice. They're being nice, not being jerk fans. They're being Kerr, and if you watch it, he's definitely smirking, but his response is, got him. So people now this morning are we got to dissect. Did Kerr just let the biggest NBA news of the month out of the bag during a quick drive? Or was he just trying to shut up these loudmouth fans? The smirk, was he just saying, we got him, don't worry about it? Or was he saying, we got him, you'll get the news soon? We have to make news out of everything, Steve. So make some news. What do you think? What's going on in Steve Kerr's head here? Because that's literally what they're spending entire segments doing today on sports TV.
Maybe they reached an agreement because they said a LeBron to go get Bronny. He's a LeBron.
Yes.
Maybe that's what it is. If I'd occurred, am I supposed to get Bronny now? Is that what you're asking me? Because just commenting to the fans, yelling at them.
By the way, quick update on the British Open. They're way ahead of us time-wise, so they're winding down the first round. Suber from America remains in first place. I don't even know his first name. He's 5 under, followed by Im and Brown. They're at 4 under. DeChambeau, 4 under. They're all done for the day. A few other people out on the course. Koepka is 1 over after 15, and I think I just saw Scotty Scheffler was 2 under listed. First day, British Open, they're playing now, and then they'll start again in the middle of our night tomorrow. Back to basketball of the other kind. Every time I think yesterday, we talk about the WNBA, it's not good. That didn't used to be true on this show. We used to be like, whoa, there's something here. Steve was way ahead of the WNBA thing. And then the Caitlin Clark thing really got a lot of eyeballs on it. And I and others went, oh, they play real basketball. And now, with lightning speed, although it's not being talked about as much as I think it should be mainstreamly, a lot of people are going, this is bad, what's going on in the WNBA, and it all evolves around the same person. The thing that brought all the eyeballs in to everybody going, what's going on with WNBA? Are they going to make it Caitlin Clark? If you've seen the video, it's like 2 minutes long because there's a little pause in there. You can Google the video if you want to see it. It's exactly as described. Caitlin was frustrated by a non-call midway through the second quarter of the Fever's loss to the Golden State Valkyries last night. She threw a fist in the air and made a beeline toward an official when she could. She had been driving to the basket for a layup, hit the floor after contact with Kaya Stokes. Basket's good. No foul call. Clark limped back to the defensive end, and as soon as play was stopped, that's when she turned towards the official, who was near on the other end of the court. You can read lips. She's saying all the horrible things. She's yelling at the ref. She's not happy. It's not like Caitlin Clark's a princess. I mean, she argues calls and she can go over the top, etc. After the game, Caitlin said, it's ridiculous. You can't knee me in the leg. You can't knock me over, end quote. Her coach, Stephanie White, added with sarcasm, quote, they said Caitlin initiated the contact. That's all they said. She seems to always be initiating the contact, and I'm just trying to not get fined again. All I'll say is that we just keep asking for consistency. I don't know if you saw the video, Steve. This is one of the most egregious ones. This was a foul, dude. She didn't even get the foul call.
I have not read it. I do know the Valkyrie play really good defense. They're a physical team. So, things like this can happen through a game, but I don't know how the NBA gets out of this thing. I mean, it's become such an ugly look, top to bottom, that they've lost viewers like myself who just loved it for the nature, the purity of basketball that they really played. To now, it's like, I have no desire to really even watch it. Caitlin Clark, maybe she needs to go to Europe, go make more money, and let's just see what the WNBA does from there. I don't have an answer. I just know that it isn't going away. I think it's getting worse. We've all known she's had a target on her back from the moment she entered, and she does. She takes more hard fouls and cheap shot fouls. And I don't know if this was just a hard play that happened, but you see her like, she's jogging up the court and a player on the other team will run up and like hit her with an elbow, on the side or things like. She gets so much of that so far throughout her career, just doing things to her, even when she's not part of the play. And I've always felt it is to just make a statement, and you could argue, I was a Pistons fan and the bad boys, it could just be, hey, look, she's easy to manipulate, get her off her game, play with her mentally, and just irritate her, and she won't be the star player that she can be. And maybe that's something, but right, it has been a bad look for the WNBA really since she hit the league, and I think it just keeps getting worse.
I agree, and it feels like I guess we'll call it the anti Caitlin Clark contingency within the league is feeling emboldened because of plays like last night where they don't get called for fouls. I think you'll agree it's pretty egregious, whether you call it a hard play or just an absolute below the belt shot. We'll see, and it keeps happening. And you and I do keep saying, look, okay, she's got to play the game, and you got to play her hard. But she is also the face of the league. Let's not completely screw this up. Well, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar thinks that you and I, for calling Caitlin Clark the face of the league, are racist. This is the part of the story I try to stay away from on the show, and I'm going to do so again. There is this whole sociological issue. Obviously, racism's everywhere in the world. It's got an ugly history in America. It's going to always be with us. There is this it's not even off the court. There is this away from the game part of this story of here's the narrative from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and those who feel this way. Here comes the white girl. She gets all the attention. She tells America it's safe to watch a bunch of black girls from the hood bounce a ball. They won't hurt you. And then we fall in line as white men and we go, yeah, face of the league because she's white. He goes deep into it. You want to find it? Go find it. I don't think it's helpful. I also don't necessarily know where the truth lies in. You start talking about racism, where these feelings and opinions come from. I wanted to argue the issue of, is Caitlin Clark, in fact, the face of your league? Because he says, no, that's insulting. He did write, quote, he did this on Substack. He does these rants now and then. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar says, quote, don't get me wrong. Caitlin Clark's a very good, possibly even a great player. But calling any one player the face of the league, absent the sort of on-court and cross-platform dominance of a Michael Jordan, is an insult to an awful lot of players, starting with Asia Wilson. And then he goes on from there into his diatribe about why this is all about race that I didn't feel the need to